And we're live. 5 a.m. crew. Man, I wish Quinn was here. I've already missed ripping on him. But anyway, we're here with the artist formerly known as Coach Nick.
Hi, y'all.
His father, Douglas O'Neill.
Good morning.
The wonderful Annie Fofani. The brains of the operation. Caitlin.
That's right.
The Cotlin, depending on what accent you have. Our pod mom, Nina.
That's the weirdest name ever.
The hostess with the mostest. Moi.
Yeah, that's a little better.
That's mine. I'm the hostess with the mostest.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh. You gotta work on your self-branding.
All right. You just unofficially named me the pod mother, which is just weird.
Well, I didn't say
weird.
mother. I said pod mom. It's different. Slangier.
Today, that's what you said. It's fine.
Does it change every week?
Yes.
What has it been in the past?
Pod mother, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
pod mom. The pod mom.
That's just it's just weird. All right, we'll move on. We'll address it later.
That will be taken out.
Please remove
The power of editing.
You don't like it? Come up with something better.
Well, Matt, you drag us in here early on a Saturday morning. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I wanted to get inside the heads of weirdos who wake up at 4 a.m. to go do hard-ass workouts in the cold and heat.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to talk about? What is on the mind of the 5 a.m. club?
Well, for me, it's just a nice dynamic that we have at 5 a.m. Almost the same people show up every single week. It's the four of us, and we have Quinn, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, and it's neat because you get to know each other a little bit better. You know, you have a straggler coming in every now and then. It's nice to have somebody different to break up the crew, but still, it's you learn a lot more about one another, and you feel more comfortable as time goes on, and you can ask, I think, different questions, and I think everybody feels a little bit more comfortable with one another, and you can express yourself a little bit easier. So that's really what I've gotten out of it. Annie?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here, is because we have a 5 a.m. That's what I was looking for in a gym, just for my work schedule, because I can't work out after work. I'm too tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't have the weight of the day on you yet.
Yes, it actually makes my day better. So.
Yeah.
The day can't screw it up if you work out at 5 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. There's also no excuses. Plus, if you don't show up, everyone's going to whoop your butt.
Yeah, Quinn.
That is true.
Yeah, cardio.
We know what that's like.
Yeah, and for me, it's the same thing. It's family obligations afterwards with kids and after school activities. It's very difficult.
I know I have the same problem. Kids.
Yeah. So
Stay out of your neighbor's backyard.
So it's nice that Matt and Kevin and the crew opened up the 5 a.m. class. I'd say, was it 3-4 months ago now? I know there was an impromptu poll of who'd show up. Mm-hmm. And I know I said I would, and Caitlin, and I think Nick and Annie for sure. And then it was nice that Quinn we dragged him along.
Yes.
And he's here.
Yeah. And the occasional special guest.
And an occasional special
Yeah, I was going to
guest.
say, it is nice to have on the schedule for days that are a little crazy. Day starts early, can't get here later, or don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a certain level of self-discipline you have to get up every single day. I mean, the sun isn't even up. I always considered for a long time until I started teaching 5 a.m. that anything before 5 a.m. was pretty much yesterday still. Do you find that carries into the rest of your life in other areas? Or
I think so. I mean, I kind of have an attitude of I'm just going to do the thing. Like I said, I was going to do this thing, so I'm going to do it. It certainly helps to have a crew of other people who have also committed to that, because there are certain, I mean, it's not always easy. There are days where you don't want to do it. But I think when you just did one of the hardest things of your day at 5 a.m., that carries over.
And you're going to get judged if you've got a canceled class.
Yeah.
You signed up at night and everybody knows, and then you cancel and you just know you're getting judged by the other 3 people that are there.
There's a strong peer pressure center in the 5 a.m. club.
I think it's accountability. We're going to reframe that.
Accountability. That's true. That's true.
Yes.
I think accountability and discipline.
Yeah.
That you know if it's part of your lifestyle and you want to get better and continue to grow yourself. And if you don't do it, I mean, you're ultimately letting yourself down, in my opinion. And I don't like doing that. So that's why I'm here, pushing, striving, trying to get better.
It's awesome. I know for coming in to teach the classes, like it's kind of created this self-accountability thing where I have to get here early. It stresses me out. Like when Corey's, when he's a 5 a.m.er on and off, when he beats me here, I'm always like, ah! Like he's in the parking lot before me and he's always sitting out there just having a coffee, like listening to the radio, I think. He doesn't even come in. But I'm always like, I got to beat him there. So it causes me to get here an extra 5 or 10 minutes early a lot. And that little silence as I set up, kind of organize the things I want or write the work on the board, feels kind of nice. It's kind of like therapeutic. It's probably the only time of the day where I'm like quiet, like completely quiet all around me. That's nice.
You don't meditate?
Nah.
Why not?
Because I'm busy doing things. I've tried stuff like that, a little meditation here and there. I actually do silent breathing sometimes, but that's only like if I'm really stressed out. I do this thing where I lay on the bed completely like limp and I just in, out through my nose and like silence.
Are your eyes closed?
Usually, I think, yeah.
I think those some of the other things you do, like setting up for class and whatnot, that can be considered meditative.
Yes.
Like if you're getting yourself in a certain mindset, probably similar to you guys like traveling to the gym, you're probably like, getting your mind right.
When Caitlin's running 1.5 miles through the
Yeah, I was
snow.
gonna say-
Do you listen to music on your jog in?
No,
or?
I don't. I was gonna say that's like what I really enjoy is I feel like it is the middle of the night still, and as you know, I'm crazy and I run to the gym, so that's like my kind of time where I can wake up and just be with myself, and there's no traffic, and it's just quiet. Like I love that.
It's like our city is really nice early in the morning.
It's
It's
shut
like
down.
it's shut down. It's super quiet. Like the birds are chirping. If you're outside, I'm usually out with the dog. Sometimes I see Caitlin running to
Yes.
the gym. I'm like, hey.
You will sometimes get like people who are still up from the night before. Like I was
Oh,
leaving
yeah.
the other day, and my neighbors were like coming in, and it was very clear that they had been up all night.
Wow.
And those are very amusing interactions.
I think Caitlin's absolutely nuts doing what she does. And sometimes, I've stopped numerous times to ask if she's wanted to
You
ride.
alright?
And it's always, no, which
I
is
think
fine.
Lauren and I have too.
But
Yeah.
the crazy thing is when it starts snowing and she rides her bike. She's still riding her bike. And I'm so afraid that somebody's either going to run into her or she's going to slip and fall. But it seems she's always here on time and
Yeah.
she's never hurt.
But your job, you sit most of the day too, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
It's,
My
I don't
goal
know,
is to
makes
like
sense to
move
me.
as much as possible.
yeah,
it's
totally.
good. I mean, you don't remain stagnant throughout.
I'm like starting the day with a little bit of fear. Oh, ride my bike down a snowy highway.
It's
Nothing else in your life is
What?
Do you put stubs on the tires?
No,
Or
but
is
I have
it
like thicker tires. I mean, they're not like the Fat Boy ones,
Yeah,
but yeah, they're a little thicker. And I guess bikes for my sneakers. Someday I'm gonna fall down and someone's gonna have to come get me, but not yet.
Oh my god.
There have been many days. There have been many days that I've wanted
Oh my
to
God.
stop and just pick up her bike and throw it in the back of my
Yeah.
truck and say, "You're coming with me." But I
When I
still.
didn't know what Doug's truck was like, I was just like, "Is this just a random man offering me candy?" Like,
Well, yes.
yes.
Oh my
But,
gosh.
no,
that's great.
it's just. I think I mentioned before. This is dynamic that we all have. For me, kind of being the older guy in there with kids and the son going to college to
Oh, you
Annie.
got into college, Nick? Good. Congrats.
To Annie, really starting her career, being a coach. It's just starting off. It's really exciting. To Nick's seasoned. He's been around. He's getting a little bit older.
I've been here for 10 years. 2011 I started.
And
That's
then,
crazy.
the other dynamics that Caitlin and Quinn bring, and just the different skills that we all have outside of here. It's really interesting. From the coaching that Annie does, and some of the other stories we talk about, to Quinn and his woodworking.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Caitlin and her bike riding and these huge long treks she's taking, and then Nick with his fishing and his golfing, and it's just fun. It's just a great dynamic that we have, and I keep going to that word a lot, but I can't think of something else that describes us that well.
I think too the fact that the same crew all the times because you guys have to work out at that time typically. You come in early. Nothing bonds a group closer than common suffering. And some of those Pargo odds, or even some of the ones done by yourself, it's like you have that common ground of like we all just went through the grinder, so to speak, at times, and you just like. And from there, I think that's the common ground, and everything grows from that, understanding. Because I know that like some of the people I work on at 7:30 most often, and it will be a constant revolving door of who shows up that day. But like when you get in partner WODs with people, or you just have that same few people though, it's like you always understand. Here we go again. And then the same thing happens. You talk about the workout first, and then your relationship goes from there.
I think you really know each other's strengths and weaknesses as well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
it's hey, Amy's going to crush this, or Keaton's going to crush this, or I'm going to suffer through this and roll around on the ground a little bit. It's just you know where. I think you learn after a while. You know where people need a pick me up, and you know where you can push people a little bit more than others. And it's fun.
That's true. It was really, for me, it was really nice when I was starting and I was kind of scared and a little intimidated to know that, like, Annie was going to be there. Like, I had my 5 a.m. consistency. Annie's my WOD wife. And so, like, I think for people who are new, who are early birds, just having that, like, consistent support system and knowing what to expect. Like, for me, that was really helpful.
You started after Annie did?
Mm-hmm.
Not much though, because it was still, that was my thought too. It was okay, well, Caitlin's going to be there,
Yeah.
so I'm good.
Did you guys ever go to the old gym next to the taco place?
Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah, that's where we both started there. Doug.
Doug.
I've come and gone. I mean, I was here for a long time, and then I moved away.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were kind of but still you
and
guys
then you
were.
were like a consistent at like 6 a.m.
You were
for a
at
long
6
time.
a.m.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
What made you
Yeah,
make
you
the
still
jump?
dabble in the 6:15 class.
Every
'cause
once in
that's mostly what I come to.
I forgot you were like the different hour. Yeah.
every
I
once.
was like, what are you talking about?
Well, no, yeah. I was at 6:15 for a while, and then my schedule meant to be that I had to come at 5.
Yeah.
It was just easier.
Yeah.
So you've been around for 11 years, Nick. What have you seen?
10 years.
What's that?
10 years.
10 years.
A lot of changes. You start to notice even from the previous owners to then when Kevin started coming in. He was taking classes for a while before he started taking over. Then even from when you started coming, when was that? What year was that?
As a member, I was started in like 2013 or 14. 14,
Well,
I think.
I didn't know that Nick was pre-Matt.
Yeah.
Wow, you are like an old timer.
I was actually
I was
pre-med.
pretty
Yeah,
young.
yeah.
Okay.
OG.
Yeah,
The OG.
There's quite a handful of members that are pre me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Christina, Keith, Jen.
I can tell you the first time I remember Matt coming in, he was a big lunkhead. I mean, he was. He was. He's a big boy now, but I mean, you were.
Used to be a big lunkhead.
I think you're. If I remember, a football player.
Yeah.
And then you were a professional bodybuilder.
I was not professional,
Or-
but
You were a bodybuilder, and I just remember one of the first workouts working out with Matt, and it was box jumps, and it was just I'm like, this dude is in shape. This is crazy. How am I actually beating him? And well, I mean, a lot has changed since then, and but still, it's Nick talks about the evolution and the change, and just you as a coach and you as an athlete, you can see where you were to where you are now, and it's neat to see the progression of people.
I used to have a lot more muscle like on my body. I used
Mass.
to weigh about 15 pounds more, and I did not move very well. Like I didn't have great flexibility. So like all the things I tell people to do all the time, like sit in the deep squat, hang from the pull-up bar to strengthen and stretch your shoulders. That behind the head band stretch where we stretch our tricep. I used to have to do that daily almost just to eventually get where I could hold the bar in the overhead squat position. And then my conditioning just wasn't in like that CrossFit, like that intensity. Like before that, it was like wind sprints for football or like, bodybuilding or maybe strongman stuff. We do like cardio, like you power walk on the elliptical or like something like that, or you do the stair stepper.
Okay.
And so it was like, it appeared probably that I looked like a super fit guy, but I don't think I was that in shape per se. Like I just had a lot of muscle.
So what you're saying is you had show muscles, not go muscles.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
But
That's the most important.
the exciting thing is, that, Matt, is that you're practicing what you preach.
Oh yeah.
Which is to me a trait of a good leader, is that if you can follow what you're trying to teach folks and you're able to show the results, hey, maybe you know what you're talking about.
Well, a little
Which
bit.
is a cool thing.
Yeah, I try to. I think any professional. And that's why I try to be a professional level coach. Work in progress always, but I think any professional in any industry should be doing that. It's easy to preach and teach and talk to people about certain things that would help them if you know to be true. At least I do. If there were times where I wasn't on my diet or eating right or things like that, or training regularly. Like there was a phase where I would be like doing my own like programming or something, and then not taking classes, and then I'd be preaching to people why they need to come to class, and it didn't like come across genuine. And I was like, I wasn't wrong, but I was being a sort of a hypocritical thing. And I don't know. It is so much easier now to just do exactly what I would want any client or member or friend or family member to do for themselves, you know. But thank you. You know, try to.
You're welcome.
Do that. Because sometimes you have to have difficult conversations. You have to tell somebody like, what you think you're doing for your nutrition is clearly not working.
Yeah.
Okay, or like you got to stop. This idea of like you only need to come to do the workouts once or twice a week, and you're going to go to another gym to do your machine workouts or whatever. I'm like, you could do that, but you're not going to get in shape. You're not going to move any better. Every day you come in here is going to just be hard. But if you can come in 3 to 5 days a week consistently, it's hard. It's always challenging, but you get better at it. You're not going to have to struggle and feel like, what the fuck, all the time. But I've obviously told all of you guys this stuff before. So.
The other thing about CrossFit is the progression. Like before, when I know from when I started, whatever year it was just like, oh, I come in here, I'm going to work out, I'm going to eat whatever the hell I want, do whatever the hell I want. Then as the years start to go on, it's just like, okay, working out is enough. Let me start looking into what I'm eating, and it's just like for years, it's like a slow progression where the CrossFit keeps you disciplined, doing difficult things, that it translates to the rest of your life to where the point where it's like, okay, just working out isn't going to give me the goals I want. So, okay, what happens if I start eating a salad once a month instead of chicken wings every single meal? Then it slowly will turn into okay, now we're doing a Whole30. And it's just one of those progressions that I think is the great thing about CrossFit is it's not just a lifting protocol. It's kind of like a lifestyle that you're adopting. And it's you go into the gym with these guys, and it's just like, okay, they probably know I rant about food all the time. It's going to slowly start to project onto them, whether it's just, oh, I'm just here to work out. Well, if you keep hanging out with the same people and listening to them talk, you're going to keep trying the next step. And it's just,
Nick truly is a creature of habit when it comes to his breakfast every morning.
yeah.
I don't know what that god awful thing.
I don't know anything about this breakfast situation.
No, you're gone. I have to work out in the sense of it.
Nick brings the same thing in almost every day, and it's god awful. Whatever it looks like, eggs and avocado.
I had leftover Brussels sprouts that I was too lazy to cook. What was it, Friday or whenever it was last week? And I was like, this is going to ruin my whole day. Instead of having usually there's a potato in there, but I got lazy. And
So what is the breakfast?
eggs, bacon, avocado, and a potato.
That sounds great.
Every
That
day.
sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And I get to smell it while I work out. And you get to sit there and eat it.
Put it in the bowl,
I'm like,
nothing,
dang
cook
it.
That
Or
sounds
eat
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Every
one day a month we need to have a Nick's breakfast day where everyone just brings it and eats it.
I'm okay.
Yeah, let's make sure that's on a Tuesday, Thursday morning.
Okay.
The day we celebrate that.
You got priorities at 6:50.
Yeah.
No, I wait till the break, and then I come over, when everyone's getting their water, chalk, helmets, etc. Take the time out of my day to make fun of Quinn. I could just eat your food instead.
Yeah.
And save Quinn some turmoil. Oh, Quinn did give me permission to roast him on this today, so if we want to, at the end, we can just lay into him, tell him how mad we are.
So you're talking about Quinn or cardio?
Cardio Quinn.
Cardio fun.
That poor bastard.
Hey,
Oh
you
my gosh.
just gotta tell him what to do.
I know.
Quinn, I'm here to protect you from yourself. I can do this weight for the whole workout.
Yeah. You're doing singles, Quinn.
You gotta run in between every round, right? You don't want the bar to be the thing that kills you too. All right.
I think one of the things that the 5 a.m. and the close core group has allowed us to do is to, I kind of hit on it before, develop relationships and the comfortability of people to open up. And I'm going to look at the person next to me.
I was waiting for that one.
Some of the conversations that we've had over the past couple of weeks, and I'll let Annie share what she wants to share, have been just awesome.
Oh yeah, what
I don't know
was
that
the
I have
conversation the
anything.
other day where everyone's like, "You've got to hear this."
All of a
Boy Scout
sudden,
Andy.
we're talking about
What was that?
what we have in our cars, and we were talking about, I think it was, survival. So if we had to be outside,
Because we can eat our Crocs. That's where
Yes,
it started.
it started
is
because
that if
Annie told me
you
that.
can melt your Crocs down and eat them if you ever needed to. It's
Yeah,
not
the
toxic.
foam stuff that's in those is actually also in like honey buns or something.
Thank
like,
you.
That sounds good.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nick over here worries about
Content.
fake sugars. Now we're gonna eat
Yes.
Crocs.
No.
What the?
Yoga mats. There's some yoga mats you can also eat.
Annie blasts out that you can eat your Crocs.
Yeah, that's
And then
what
she
it
starts
was.
telling me about what she has in her car. And she cranks out with, I've got Flint.
Yes.
Which was-
It's a necessity. If you ever need Flint, you're not going to be like, wow, I wish I had Flint right now, and then go get it and then need it a second time. Then you're really unlucky. But if I ever need it, I'm going to have it. I have everything I need in my car.
What else do you have?
During the zombie apocalypse, while the
Yeah.
rest of us are wasting our time fighting our way through
Yes.
hordes of zombies, Annie's just gonna be camping out on top of the building here. Should have brought Flint, fuckers. roasted a shoe.
Yes. Oh my god.
At dinner.
I would live.
But that's just one of the samples of some of the
Yeah.
neat stories that Annie pops up with from time to time with her dog walker or dog watcher and
Yeah.
It's
Wait,
probably
you have a dog
listening.
watcher?
I do. He comes to my house every day and lets my dogs out. And he doesn't
Okay.
actually walk them,
Oh,
but he like plays with them
We
in
feel
my
a
yard
little
and stuff.
suspect about him.
Yeah, we
the
feel-
5 a.m. crew doesn't know how they feel about this dog walker.
Yeah.
he may be a little sketch according to some of the stories that Annie's
Yeah.
mentioned.
He's a little
Hopefully he's not listening to this right now.
Huh?
well, it could be just Annie's stalker, and he's definitely gonna
Yes.
listen to this.
Well, that's
He's waiting outside.
That's the question.
Hey, you know what? If you're fortunate enough to have a stalker, you're doing something right in life. You know?
Okay.
Are you?
Interesting theory.
Yeah, that's
I feel like
what I
that's
was
someone
thinking.
who is more likely to stalk than be stalked saying that. If you have that thought.
Yeah, maybe.
She's gonna social
Oh no.
Well, no, I'm just joking. Obviously, fucked up. If anyone wants to stalk me,
No.
they're fucking wasting their time. There's nothing interesting that I do. So, Annie, you were somebody who, when you first started, I didn't know what you were gonna, would become of you as an athlete, because you had never. It didn't seem like you'd done CrossFit of any
No.
kind or weightlifting of any kind.
Nope.
And I know you've had a lot of doozies of hard workouts where you're frustrated. How do you get through a lot of that? Because you're a pretty good athlete now. You've really, there's really not anything you can't do with competency.
I don't know. Like getting angry about it in the moment, I want to stop, but I would never let myself stop trying to do it better, and then that kind of just carries over every day because I know I've gotten better at some things that maybe I didn't even know I was bad at to begin with.
Like what?
But what do you mean?
Like what? Give an example.
Oh, like my power cleans are fine now, but I think they were trash before.
They were rough for the first day she came in.
I
I
cried.
was there.
I cried.
That when you get frustrated enough to cry, it's always those coordination-driven movements. Like
Yes.
so a lot of people, like when we're doing power snatch for the first time or whatever, and they're like, you can tell they're just like, what the fuck, this is dumb. I'm like, yes, at first it feels dumb. Or double unders.
Oh god,
I don't know
let's
what
not go
that's
there.
Yeah.
You'll get to see you're still in that frustration zone there.
Yeah, I got one.
They'll come back. They'll
Yeah.
come back to you.
I remember I'd seen Emily cry like probably 4 times doing double unders, trying to get double unders. Now she'll do them in a massive sets, unbroken, doesn't struggle with them at all. But like it was, I used to get nervous, like, oh, I think we're gonna try to do double unders today, and she just, her face would, and then she would try, and be where like she's getting like 10s or 5s or something. Probably weren't as good, smooth and good at scaling back then. So she would just try to fight her way through the workouts until she just cried. And I'd be like, all right, you just don't do it anymore. Or she'd fight through it, crying, and continue to do the double unders.
Oh my gosh.
I was just, couldn't stop her. She was
It
so
sounds
frustrated and she
familiar.
wanted to learn it, and it's like, well. So, but it is always those coordination like things that are the hardest, because you can't just raw your way through it.
No, you
Yeah.
can't.
You have to,
Eventually they become mindless, but
yeah.
it takes a while.
Or
That's
like
what I
big,
like.
strong, very fit dudes who don't have the coordination or maybe mobility, they get very frustrated and it's like humbling. So they're just like, fuck this is dumb. I'm not doing it, rather than take the time to learn it.
And then you throw your rope.
I've thrown my rope many a time.
Many
I've
times.
definitely
Many a
thrown
time.
my rope. Doug, you've seen me throw my rope.
Yeah. I'm Sure, that was me. It took me a long time to figure it out.
I accidentally threw my rope the other day and almost lassoed Jeremy Schwartz. I went to throw it down, and when I finished, and it like slipped out of my hand early and just went across the room.
No.
And it just landed like right around his feet, and I was like, "Whoops!"
You know, I think at a certain point in time, we have to know our limits too,
Yeah,
and we have to know, what's good for our bodies and what's not good for our bodies. And am I going to continue to do this and potentially hurt myself or injure myself? And how long is that injury going to last? Is it short term or long term? As I've gotten a little bit older, I've realized some of the exercises that hurt or make me more sore that last longer. And it's just listening to yourself. You kind of touched on it a little bit. If you listen to yourself, you can get better in certain ways, maybe not in others.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if anybody else has those types of exercises. I know, like weighted lunges, weighted step-ups. They crush my lower back. And so I take it much easier on those days. It's just a learning aspect and learning to get to know your body a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or like knowing that, like, okay, yes, I've done this workout with this weight, but like I also know my body and know that like I can't do that intensity. Like, in understanding, being able to know like what days you need to challenge yourself and what days are more like, okay, I just need to get in and like move. And today 55 pounds is hard, even though I've done this at 75 or whatever.
I think one thing that CrossFit teaches us too is to check your ego at the door. and
Totally.
That's hard. That is hard. When I see somebody smaller lifting more weights than I,
How does it make you feel?
I check my ego at the door. Of course, it pisses me off, Nick. But I know that there are certain limitations that I have that you don't have. There's some mobility issues. There's, and I'm working and trying to get better, but still I do know my limitations, that I don't want to come and wreck myself so that I can't come in for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, and that's the best part about this 5 a.m. class, especially getting to know everybody. It's not too much for me to hammer Doug for doing something, and he just kind of knows that it's in good intentions. It might come off, especially if there's a random person in here sounding like a dick, but it's like talking to Doug. He knows that when we are at those same weights, that it's just like, okay, if it is overhead, I tend to be able to do more just because I don't have mobility limitations, and I will get on them.
Wait, that's an overhead squat. Let's just talk about that. Not everything.
And to go off what you said about there are certain movements, no movement should hurt. So if you're having pain or some kind of chronic discomfort when doing movement, there's typically a mobility problem we got to address. And first you have to have the mobility in the start and the finish of the position safely. If you can set yourself up right or finish the lift properly, then you kind of have to develop the skills. Maybe it's the timing on when you pull, things like that, and then the strength. And like some people they're super strong, so they try to skip right to just doing the movement. And if you don't learn the timing or take the time to stretch out get in those mobile positions, injuries will happen. And I think we do a better job than ever. Maybe we can still continue to do better, but preventing people from doing that.
I think one thing that I've seen in the past 6 months is that our warm-ups have changed. Whereas, in my opinion, they're more focused on lower backs, hips. I see us doing the same stretches almost every single day, which is what I would be doing before anyway. So I'm getting a double, which has been very, very helpful for me. We do a lot more Cobra stretches. We do a lot more Samson stretches, a lot more where we're in the lunge position, things that really focus on the lower back, the lower posterior chain. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I think sometimes I try to mix up the routine of what movements we do just to keep it interesting, but there are just some universal patterns that help you stretch out those different joints and everything like that, and just to get loose
and
head
of
to toe.
course, we're going to stretch the muscles that we're working on that day. So if it's an overhead, if it's a shoulder, you're going to focus on that. But still, you are focusing on the core lower posterior chain almost on a daily basis, and those muscle systems are involved with almost everything we do here.
Yeah.
And I love it that we're
dude, when you're listening to the playback, it's going to be like a white noise sound in the background. But
I'm out of coffee.
Me too.
I'm almost there.
So then you shouldn't have to move that.
Now we're all gonna have to poop.
See, that's what should be on the film. That's what should be on.
I mean, technically, it's still recording.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Caitlin poops later.
Yeah.
It's fine. I won't edit it
Or
out.
not. I'd be very comfortable not talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, how are you gonna poop during the zombie apocalypse, Sandy? While you're living out of your car with Flint
We don't
and
have to
rubber
go-
shoes.
yeah,
What
we're
are the rubber
comfortable.
shoes gonna do to your poop?
Over the side of the building.
Oh gosh, yeah. Make sure you dig a hole at least 8 inches wide and 8 inches deep.
I'm from the Boondocks. I do know this.
Where did you learn those numbers? I'm just curious. You
There's
just
like
make
an
it-
REI video that I
Oh.
watched about pooping in the woods.
Oh.
Why?
Really?
Why?
Because I had to poop in the woods the other weekend.
Do bears dig a hole? Do deer dig a
No, they
hole?
do
Bear don't,
All
bears
right.
don't
Why is
have
Kim's
to.
face red all of a sudden?
How comfortable were
Why
you
would
pooping?
bears have to dig a hole?
So why should
What-
we?
They're because that's Caitlin.
Maybe bears have manners. They're
But
considering the
that's-
other
you wanna
bears in
make
the
sure
woods.
You're not like attracting other animals with like human
There.
feces.
There. That's it.
And you also have to make sure you're not too close to like a water
There it
source.
And
is.
you just
Really?
Yeah.
Why does that
Dude.
matter?
You want to try because
Of course.
you don't want your poo poo runoff to like go in the woods. Like if it rains.
You don't want
and then-
deuce water, dude.
Yeah.
Decades of camping. I mean,
All right.
how dense do you of a population
I've never
of
had to
campers do you
poop.
have to have?
You did this.
I peed in the woods.
Man, I'm so
A
sorry I
whole
started
lot,
this
but-
conversation.
How comfortable did you feel when you pooped in the woods for the first time?
I
General
was
curiosity.
like, my face is gonna get really red.
Oh, it is really red right now.
Because I feel like I wouldn't be able to relax enough.
I feel like it's pretty
You
liberating.
know, I didn't think that I was gonna be able to, and then when the time
Why
came,
are we
it was
going down this
happening.
path?
Well,
Hey.
all right.
I had my little like,
Oh.
I had a little like.
Look at Annie, she looks so stressed
sorry.
out. See, Quinn, you could have been here.
Oh, man.
Quinn said he had a golf,
All right.
he had a tea time at 6 a.m.
That's
Oh
all right.
my god.
It's a really early time.
I question it. Do you guys think Quinn has a golf time at
Especially
6
for
You
6
should,
a.m.?
No.
you should have the option of calling in, picking that
That's
up.
it.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Special call on guests.
Oh,
We should have called. We should call Quinn right now.
He's got his number.
Does anybody have his number?
No, I don't
No.
know.
What great
Wow.
friends you are.
Yeah.
You can FaceTime
Skills.
people or whatever time.
I'll
Would he
do,
be our
like,
first?
Facebook
Would he be the
Messenger, you can call
first
people.
official call-in guest?
Yeah, let's
Yes.
give it a shot.
Mhm.
Because no, you know how you can do it on Facebook? There's a
Yeah.
call button.
And you can do it. I can
Zero
do it on
chance he
Instagram
answers.
too.
Hey, sucker.
It's supposed to be ringing.
He's
I've never tried this, so I don't know how this works.
Technology
You're
advancement.
like, why is Matt calling me on Facebook?
Is it ringing?
Doesn't seem to be connecting.
Huh.
Quinn, you little bitch. No.
Is it connecting? It looks like it is.
The call. I'll see you later.
Quinn,
What's up?
hey.
Hey, it actually
It worked. Sorry, apparently you were on mute.
Oh,
Oh, he hung up.
Oh,
worked. Oh, call back, dude.
maybe he is
he's
confused.
probably
think he would've-
golfing, you guys.
Probably actually is golfing.
Who cares?
Come on now. Come on, Quinn.
Probably didn't even mean to answer.
When are you guys gonna hang out pegboard?
I don't know.
The what? Oh,
I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, huh. How high can you make it? I guess the ceilings are high enough to climb it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's rough?
Could also make it horizontal and climb it sideways. Either way is hard, but that's kind of dumb. Also,
once you're off the ground, you're off the ground. You know?
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't have
true.
to be that far off though.
Matt, what do you see for the gym coming up or the box coming up in the next 3-6
I
months?
see you dragging that coffee crop
Yeah.
across the
Yeah.
table. Well, some of the bigger things will be like what happens with the BJJ, like whether they expand into the other side of the building or end up having an off-site location, which I hope they expand on the other side of the building. That's the ultimate goal. Just got to get the numbers up,
Yeah.
class attendance, things like that. Because then there are things in the works right now that I don't know if I can even say. Some potential other classes, other coaches coming on. I probably shouldn't have said that because who knows? It might not happen, but just continued growth. So right now it's, we want to reach into new markets and new people and try to get more people in here that need to be healthy. It's cool to have like guys that have been doing CrossFit for like years and come from other gyms or places that like they're welcome to have. But it really, as a business, we want to reach people that are in need of health assistance. Do you know what I mean? Like that need some nutrition guidance, that need to learn how to mobilize. You see people that are, we are all like in elite level shape compared to the average person. Like, no matter what you're not good at movement wise or how strong you are, like if you can just complete like you walk in the door, you're like, oh, I know what weight I'm going to use for this workout. I know how to do the movements. I know how to pace myself out. And then you eat a moderately healthy meal throughout the day. You are like the 1%. People are so unhealthy, so sick. There's over 1 million people in the greater Rochester area, if you can include Brockport and Victor. How many of them do you think are doing CrossFit or doing things that are actually healthy? I mean, I've seen guys when I've trained at other gyms that are regulars at the gym. They come in month after month, year after year, and they get fatter. And they're in the gym every day. Clearly what they're doing is not working at all.
They're just exercising their vocal cords.
Yeah, or they're just doing worthless exercises and they think they're getting in better shape, and it's
Or,
like
the same
sad.
thing
I
every
mean,
day.
like the quality of life. And like, so someone with a little, I don't mean we need to turn everyone into elite bodybuilder doing muscle ups and this and that, looking like lean, but people need to be healthy enough that like the rest of us aren't paying for their hospice care when they're 68 years old. You know what I mean? Like, there are people here in the gym that are almost that old doing CrossFit daily. And so I guess
Nick,
the whole rant here is just to say that I'd love to be reaching more of those people. So like with the BJJ, if they potentially move to the other side of the building as we grow and expand, that room will come a little more open. I'm out there. Probably to expand and probably maybe some different programs. I know now that I'm going to be done painting soon, and there's some stuff I'd like to do with like some kids programs and stuff. Because if you I think there's a certain amount of the population that is just shot. They're so stuck in their own mind. They're so fearful of trying new things. They don't even allow someone to help them if we have free services every day. However, if you take a younger population, you can start to teach them right information early, kind of condition it into the lifestyle. Hopefully more and more parents, as people try to take health more serious, they teach their kids that exercise and eating right is just a piece of being alive. It's not some extra credit thing you do that, oh wow, you're special because you're on sports teams. I mean, I always, it's good to do sports because it's fun, but not everyone wants to do that. But the idea of taking care of your health, everyone should do. Like you have one body. Yeah. Things are going to happen. Sometimes you get sick regardless of trying. Sometimes but more often than not, you're just living a better quality life. So even if a train hits you when you're 40, oh well, I bet you the first 40 years were a hell of a lot more quality than if you just, ate like Nick on a Friday night.
What's interesting is...
No, you wouldn't.
I think you're talking about, a catalyst.
Yeah.
And what's that catalyst that made people show up to the gym? I mean, Nick, what was it that said, okay, hey, I got to find somewhere. I got to do something.
So, essentially ask you why I started?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good...
Catalyst is just a big word for that.
There was a Groupon. There was a Groupon that was just made it so it was like $60 for the first 3 months.
I'm surprised that worked.
I forgot that Groupon existed.
Oh my god, I know.
That was a long time ago. So
Yeah.
I started then, and then I kind of got hooked. And then I liked the coaching and how I wasn't allowed to come more than 2 times a week to start. And then after the first 3-4 months, they said I could come a 3rd time a week. This is, Adam.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a slow progression. It was kind of like they cared. Like they weren't just like, oh, you have to be here every day to do this, this, and that, and the other. They're like, okay, you have to brace your body to get into it and get into the movements and learn everything. And it was a great progression how they kind of, Adam told me, it was like, okay, 2 weeks now, you go to 3 weeks, then 4, 3 times, then 4 times, then it slowly got up from there to now sometimes it's 6 days a week. And then you get times like this week where it's going to be 2 times a week. It's just
So Nick started CrossFit because he was cheap.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
What about you, Caitlin?
Yeah.
I started CrossFit after I moved back here. I lived in Florida for 6 years, and at that time I was running a lot more than I do now. I was running like 30 to 40 miles a week.
Yeah.
And but I kept getting hurt. Like I was just getting all these running injuries because I wasn't doing a lot of strength training. And so I just was like, I'm gonna start going to a gym when I move back. And I also was like just trying to meet people and all of that. So I just did a Google search, and a couple of people had gone to KNOVA and liked it. So that's why I started going. Matt did a couple of my onboarding sessions, and I was like dying. Like I remember doing like a kettlebell swing and a like box jump, and was just like, holy shit! I thought that I was in shape, and I can't do this.
Isn't that funny that a lot of us, will come in here and say, hey, we're in shape. I'm in
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the first time that I met Kevin 10 years ago or so. And I had been on an elliptical machine. I'm like, shit, I can do an elliptical machine for an hour in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then that first 1 or 2 workouts I did with him were just awful, absolutely awful. One of the first things I did, and I think I mentioned this to you, Matt, last week, is I ran with a wall ball. And it might have been an 8-pound, 10-pound wall ball, and it was very short distances, but it was so bad. I knew how out of shape I was, and there were many times where after I'd work out, I'd take a shower and I would just sit there with cold water running on me,
Yes.
contemplating why God's green earth am I doing it?
Oh my
Because
god,
it
I
was
still feel that way
so
sometimes after the workout.
hard, but it's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is, really is.
You remember that shower we used to shower in here?
Yeah, we've not together.
I mean, with the giant hole in the wall, might as well.
You're very
put it down.
close. The 5 a.m. people are very
Yeah,
close.
we've I asked Nick, about when he started 10 years ago, and I was maybe 9 years ago, and we've seen some pretty different buildings in the time.
I was gonna say Nick's seen the build out twice.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've actually seen it twice.
Oh, you saw it.
Yeah, I started at Park Ave, and the shower in Park Ave, if I remember correctly, were
You were at
co-ed,
Park Ave?
yeah,
Oh, I
were
remember
co-ed
that.
showers.
Yeah. Everybody was just in a room, and they were just bathroom stalls.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
And
fine.
it's just unisex. It was strange.
it was
We
weird.
were ahead of our time. Very,
Yeah, right?
yeah.
And then we moved over,
Gender neutral shower situation.
yes, to Russell Street. And I remember
No, it was Winston Place. Oh,
Yeah.
and then we moved to Russell Street.
Russell Street.
Mhm.
And then the build out over there, we were in a cold, dank
Remember the dirt?
warehouse, dirt floor. I remember some of our
Oh
previous
my gosh.
coaches just looking at us, shaking their head. And you could see the wind. You could see our breath. It was so cold.
That's
Then we
funny.
moved into, we finally, the build out was there. And then COVID hit. We moved, and then COVID hit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then,
Everyone thought we went out of business when like we moved out of the other building.
Oh yeah.
yeah, but what was cool is that you guys improvised. And I think we have a rise in the mentality. And we worked out in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and then finally we got some porta pies over there that stunk, but
Yeah.
still, it was cool. Then you guys found this spot, and we were outside for a while, and the build out happened here, and it's almost done.
Mhm.
And it's really neat to see where Nova has come from a little Park Ave co-ed bathroom shower area to a pretty plush area now. It's nice. So kudos to you, Matt, and your team, and Kevin, and those guys.
Yeah, we're not done yet. I look at it and like we're just getting the ball started. There's so many other things that we want to do. It's just time and money, and you got to build it out. The things that we were doing years ago, like 2018, we thought we were like, we know stuff. We're figuring things out. And it's like you look back now, you're like, man, we're so dumb. I didn't know anything back then. I'm barely surprised the gym made money. But so it's. I expect to have more, to do more, to set the standard for what's possible, and obviously to do that you have to really help people improve their lives. And that the beautiful thing is like when you come to a CrossFit gym, whether you go to this CrossFit gym or another one, if it's run well, like you get to decide what is a better life for you, and we just help you put some pieces of it in there. When we talk about nutrition, movement, and stress management, and the community aspect, sleep, we can coach you on those things. And I bet you if you plug those 5, you get all 5 of those things in a great place, it's going to be hard to have a bad time in the other areas, or it's going to be a lot easier to have a good time in the other areas. But
What's nice to see is that you guys want to continue to improve and grow
Yeah.
and learn and get better.
Yeah.
And if you become stagnant in those areas, the gym will become stagnant.
Yeah.
And you'll see people dwindling away.
yeah, no, I believe in constant growth, and you got to evolve as the times change and circumstances change, people change. That's an expectation. If you're not looking for the next hole in your game, if you're not trying to become better, you're definitely going to be going back. It's only a matter of time. There was a time when there were bigger, better CrossFit gyms in Rochester. Nova was just a little thing. We barely had 3 to 4 to 5 people in a single class at any time. Most times, morning classes, people didn't even show up. And,
Now you can
and
see.
we just said, we made a decision that this is not the standard we're capable of. We're going to get better. We're going to do more. And, things have changed. Some of those gyms aren't even around anymore. And that's not like we're special, but we just keep trucking. It'll be that way.
It was definitely different in the morning then than it is now. Back from being when there was only one 6 o'clock class, and there you were happy when you were coaching and you had 4 people show up.
Yeah.
You know, there was a
Yeah.
solid
Yeah.
8-10 months that was like that,
Yeah.
where it would go from the class would fill up every day, and then all of a sudden you'd be lucky to get 3 or 4 people in a class. Then it would 6 months later it would fill up. Now in the morning it seems, you know, there's always 5 or 6 of us at 5, and then 6 a.m. is depending on the day. There's 10 to 12 people there at times.
You know, but what's fun about those classes is that there are always good people.
Oh yeah, I was thinking the same thing just now.
And we
Yeah.
still talk about some of the things that happened. Kevin Randall, I mean, he was a good guy.
Oh yeah.
He came back over Christmas and just crushed me in a workout. And he and Nick and I just, it was an absolute beatdown. It's just fun. Now you see a lot of OGs coming back.
Yeah.
And which is neat to see that it goes again. Kudos to KNOVA, and you're able to retain and bring back because you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Is anyone planning to do class right now?
Me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is 6:56. I definitely wanted to ask some more questions, but they're kind of coming at it. Anyone have anything they want to say?
No, this is
Last
cool.
few minutes?
Thanks for doing this.
You know,
Yeah, it was fun.
I was curious about one thing. Do you guys ever still get that pre-workout anxiety where you're like, oh god, here we go, like you're mad nervous beforehand? No.
Yes.
I think during the CrossFit the open stuff.
Sometimes it hits me right when I step up to the barbell and I'm like, oh my god.
It's about to burn.
Now I know that. Now we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. See you next week.
You'll hear it. I say it.
Because I was like, man, I wonder if anyone else is looking at their clock every like 2 minutes going, oh my god, I gotta go start class. Coach Ronnie, he'll ease you into the warm-up. Today's actually be a fun little part. Quinn also messaged me back and said, sorry, I was teeing off. I hit a bomb, though.
At least you didn't drop a bomb, right, Caitlin?
All right, well, thank you,
Thanks,
5 a.m.
guys.
Club. It was just fun chatting with you. We'll do it again sometime. Hey, get out there and do something special. Hit a PR.